A journalist from The Atlantic says they dismissed the Hunter Biden story because it wasn't interesting enough. Roll tape.
Do you think the media acted inappropriately when they instantly dismissed Hunter Biden's laptop as Russian disinformation?
My problem with Hunter Biden's laptop is I think totally irrelevant. I mean, it's not whether it's disinformation or, I mean, I don't think the Hunter Biden's business relationships have anything to do with who should be president of the United States. So I don't find it to be interesting.
Okay, didn't find it to be interesting. Cabot Phillips joins us. Not interesting enough. I find that astonishing. I mean, that just doesn't fly for me. How about you?
Well, isn't it convenient how the things that are determined to be interesting or not are often based on who they might help or hurt? We now have email proof that their first strategy was saying, well, we're going to discount these emails. We're going to discount everything on this laptop. It just can't be true. Now that it's been proven true, they say, well, it may have been true, but the fact is it just wasn't interesting enough to dig into. We now have email proof that shows Hunter Biden complaining that half of his salary went to his father, which is patently illegal. You cannot be subsidizing your politician family members. We have other email proof that's showing, hey, this Chinese business deal that Hunter Biden secured, by the way, he secured that deal 10 days after Hunter Biden had gone to a trip in Shanghai with Joe Biden. That deal that he secured, there's an email now from Hunter Biden's business partner saying we're going to save 10% for the big guy. I think average journalists, the real journalists that want to uncover the truth, would be saying, who's the big guy here? Are politicians being subsidized by their family members that are securing corrupt deals overseas? But the journalists don't care about that because they care about the narrative. They care about who can be helped, who can be hurt by their stories. And I think the Hunter Biden scandal, it's far from over. There are going to be more details that come out. But ultimately what they're doing here is showing their hand. They're showing the things they're interested in reporting on, and it's based on who it's going to hurt. And we know if it hurts Democrats, they're not going to dig into it.
And the mainstream media is not going to get its reputation back. Not that it was much of a reputation in the first place. Now, change the subject again. The House, right now, I believe, holding a hearing to examine stock trading reforms for members of Congress. Okay, let's get the big picture here. Do you think that members of Congress should be allowed to trade stocks?
Absolutely not. This is the equivalent of allowing NBA players to bet on their games, except in this case, it's not even letting players bet on the games. It's referees getting to bet on the games because they're the ones setting the rules. Our politicians are setting the rules of our economy, and they have a direct say in the outcome, but now they can pick and choose winners and losers in the stock market. Just to give you some context here, Stuart, the average U.S. senator beats the market each year by 11% in their individual trades. And some examples of some of those trades seem to show inside trading. Nancy Pelosi, she and her husband last year bought over $3 million of Microsoft stock. And wouldn't you know it, 12 days later, Microsoft announced a $22 billion contract that they'd scored with the Department of Defense. Nancy Pelosi's up 160% on that trade since it went through. Then there was another member, Kathy Manning, a Democrat in the House. She bought $30,000 of Lockheed Martin stock. 12 days later, they announced a $10 billion deal to modernize the F-22. She sits on the House Committee House Subcommittee on Foreign Affairs. But there are Republican members doing this too. House member Pat Fallon. He sold $250,000 of Microsoft stock under 2 weeks before their billion-dollar deal fell through. He sits on the committee that oversees defense software contracts. So these members are profiting off of the inside information they have.
Awfully difficult, though, to tell all members of Congress, you can't hold stocks or bonds. It's very difficult to do that. You would be denying a great deal of talent from Congress.
The solution here, though, is not saying they can't hold stocks, but forcing them into blind trust, forcing them into some kind of general mutual fund where they're not buying individual stocks.
Now, that is different, and that would be, to my mind, that's acceptable. Hey, Cabot, great show. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks, Stuart.